Now, we're talking about overwinter survival, of course, and one bird that's actually adapted over the past few decades is the blackcap. They used to go down Africa. Some come from Eastern Europe now over to us for the winter. And look at this one. This was sent in by Michael Hutchinson. It's in a garden in Bristol, and that male blackcap is feeding on Mahonia nectar. Now, we know that birds in the tropics do this. I've seen blue tits do it, and we know that some warblers on migration do it. But it's the first time I've heard of a blackcap doing it here in the UK. So if you want to plant anything in your garden in the winter, Mahonia, it's good for the insects, it's good for the bees, and it's good, apparently, for male blackcaps as well. Joining us as ever down in Cornwall is Gillian. Gillian, how's the weather down there with you?
Well, not quite raining, not quite drizzling, it's mizzling over here, but actually it's not too unpleasant. And of course, you know, we're down here in Cornwall looking at beavers, and beavers are all about survival. They stay active right through the winter. In the long winter nights, the most of the activity happens under the cover of darkness. So over the weekend, one of our camera team was down in the enclosure using a thermal imaging camera. This picks up a heat signature, effectively allowing us to see in the dark. Now, we've seen them out foraging and grooming and dam building, but we have not seen this before. This is a beaver up on its hind legs. You can see those very dexterous paws, and it's cut a branch off. And now it's going to drag that away, using the water to float the log, maybe to go and put it in the dam, maybe it's for lodging, or maybe it's for food. Now, here's another lovely view we got over the weekend. This is a great shot. You can see those large incisors there, lovely shot of the face. And it is stripping away the bark there. It's getting to the cambium, the soft tissue underneath the bark, that is really essential nutrition, getting it through the winter. Now, later in the programme, we're going to be looking at how they use those incisors and hands, how they cut wood up, use it for their building, how they get through the winter and shape the landscape as well while doing all of that amazing activity. Now, over the weekend, we missed out on all that lovely snow down here in our little valley in Cornwall. But Chris and Megs, I don't know if you guys had any of that snow up in the New Forest?
Not so much, Gillian. We got a little bit of it, and then it started raining, so it turned into a bit of ice quite quickly.
It did. The poodles enjoyed it, running around, but not enough time to make a snow poodle, unfortunately. Yeah. But we do have some live badgers right now, actually. Let's go live now to our badgers. Oh, here they are. This is at the set, isn't it, Megs? Yeah,
so it's raining a little bit. You see it's shaking off a bit of the precipitation there. Just come out. Look at that.
Yeah, it's just come out, hasn't it?
Yeah.
To a miserable evening. Now, of course, they will come out on rainy nights like this because the earthworms are coming to the surface, and they're keen to suck those up as well.
Make the most, of course, of that valuable resource. But it's great to see our live badgers, isn't it? Of course, we've had lots of fantastic activity throughout the course of the weekend with that lovely snow. And we actually got this. This is of a woodpecker doing some natural foraging. Have a look at this. So this is a male great spotted woodpecker here, and it is chipping away at this log, which is actually dead wood, a very important habitat at this time of year because it has lots of really tiny larvae and grubs within there. Now, the woodpecker throughout spring and summer will be making the most of invertebrates on the outside of the wood, but during the winter time, it'll be making the most of all those larvae within the wood, and it's got a very special adaptation to do so. It has a harpoon-shaped tongue that can insert up to 4 centimetres into that dead wood. It's got a sticky saliva too to make sure it gets the most of everything that's within there. So amazing to see that.
They've got 5 salivary glands inside their beak, the great spotted woodpecker.
That's a great fact, isn't it?
That sticky saliva. Of course, we haven't just been looking at our animals during the daytime. We've been following our live cameras at night as well. And out in the woods here, there's been plenty of activity with those badgers. We've just seen one live now. Here they were over the weekend, and you can see plenty of them active. I'm going to have a count up soon, Megs, to see exactly how many of our clan are all still here. Chasing the foxes away from the food. Fox activity again has been good over the weekend. 2 of them feeding together, and we've seen plenty of roe deer.
Roe deer, we've had a lot of roe deer actually over the weekend, haven't we?
Big ears, look, flicking backwards and forwards, listening out.
Gorgeous to see.
And here, look, it's a female and perhaps last year's fawn. And my favourite was this sighting we had of a male roe buck with its antlers in velvet. Thinking about getting a bit itchy maybe and scratching them on a tree. That will be coming soon as we advance into spring. But those live cameras in Scotland have been paying dividends as well. We were watching otters there last week, and we've certainly got a lot more behaviour coming up this week. Here's a little taste. It's a very beautiful location, the River Ness.
That's
there.
stunning, isn't it?
Absolutely stunning. Large, broad, fast-flowing water filled with fish, as we've seen again when Iolo was talking about salmon last week. But this family of 3 otters we've got, female and 2 cubs, have been showing themselves in daylight, and it's been a real delight to see them. Look at that.
It's been incredible. We've been getting some amazing images of these 3 recently, so we're hoping to keep up to date with them as the week goes on and find out a little bit more about their behaviour and about them as individuals too.
Fantastic.
Look at that in the water.
Porpoising across the surface there. And this is my favourite bit.
amazing.
So we've got cameras beneath the surface. We were looking for those salmon, but the otters have paid us dividends.
Look at that, those
Look
noses.
At that. Oh, some of the best views of underwater otter ever.
Look at that, and those tails as well.
Superb, isn't it? Look at their long whiskers as they're feeling their way around the bottom there, looking for food. And then at night, back out on the bank.
Great place to spot footprints as well, out on the banks if you're by a river.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Munching some
away.
fish, those sharp teeth and those whiskers.
They're stunning, aren't they?
Fantastic
Stunning.
stuff, isn't it? As I say, plenty more of those otters coming up during the week.